Thanks for tuning in to another Kings and Priests Biblical Agreements Discord. And once again, I am Ted King. And today we're going to be coming to you um, sort of like a freelance because I've had a lot of people contact and especially from last week's show regarding what was said on last week's show. A lot of people respond to the idea that Adam came back as Jesus. And so wanted to expound on it a little bit, but also want to make sure they understand that um, it's all biblical, right? It's biblical from the standpoint of what the Bible says. And so um, that's basically where it stems from. But hold on a second. I have King Nishi trying to get on. Little King Senior at the next, and he was um, calling to see what time will we be on, and I told him we're already on. So I think he's going to be probably kind of joining in just a second, but I don't see him right now. But so I'll continue what I'm saying. And I have to say, challenge those who not necessarily a challenge, but definitely a opportunity to come on with their Bible and go through the scriptures and let the scriptures determine the facts. And we've been doing like these long, we've been doing this Bible study for quite a while now. And the topic has came up before. That's the first time. Hold on, so I can get King Nishu. Let's see. There's somewhere. Let's see where he's at. Here we go. Should be coming on that.
Hello.
There we go. I think we got it now. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Let's
That's
see. We
great.
can get you. Yeah, let's see, get you on here. Yeah, I had a great time. I just had lunch with my graduating grandson. He graduated from high school. I'll give a shout out to Josiah Lawrence. Graduated from high school. We just had a little, lunch just a minute ago. So finished the luncheon, came back here, got on the show, see what was going on with that. Yeah. So everything going good, huh?
Yeah, everything's going great with me.
Good. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Well, you go ahead
congratulations on him graduating and everything. Did you already
yeah,
pray us
absolutely.
in?
Yes. No, we didn't do that. So you go ahead and start that.
Okay, I go ahead and pray us in. It says, after this manner, therefore pray ye, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Praise Jesus, praise God. We left off at Acts 20. We left off at Acts 20, 38, and we're going into Acts 21:1.
Okay.
So I'll just go ahead and start reading at Acts 21:1 and go from there. Okay.
That's good.
It says, and it came to pass that after we were gotten from them and had launched, we came with a straight course on to Coast, and the day following until Rhodes, and from thence on to Petara. 2. And finding a ship sailing over onto Phoenicia, we went abroad and set forth. Now when we had discovered Cyprus, we left it on the left hand and sailed into Syria and landed at Tyre, where there the ship was to unlad her burden. 4. And finding disciples, we tarried there 7 days, who said to Paul through the Spirit that he should not go up to Jerusalem. 5. And when we had accomplished those days, we departed and went our way. And they all brought us on our way with wives and children till we were out of the city. And we kneeled down on the shore and prayed. 6. And when we had taken our leave one of another, we took ship and they returned home again. 7. And when we had finished our course from Tyre, we came to Ptolemais and saluted the brethren and abode with them one day. 8. And 8. And the next day, we that were of Paul's company departed and came on to Caesarea, and we entered into the house of Philip the evangelist, which was one of the 7, and abode with him. 9. And the same man had 4 daughters, virgins, which did prophecy. 10. And as we tarried there many days, there came down from Judea a certain prophet named Agabus. 11. And when
Okay, hold on right there. Hold on there for a second. Hold on there for a second. We want to welcome Nicole Bolton on the show. Nicole Bolton, how are you? How you go, Nicole Bolton?
How you doing, Nicole?
Bolton? She's that couple. Can you hear?
I can't hear her.
Can you hear? No, okay.
Is your microphone on? I can't hear her.
I don't know.
What she say? She's gonna go out and come back in? Yeah, that must have been what she said. She must have said she's going out and coming back in. I couldn't hear her. Could you hear her? So,
come back in?
I haven't been able to see her come back in. Maybe you might have to call her up. There's a little static in the voice today.
Well, there's some music in the background. I hear that.
Oh, you think that's
like
probably
the
what it
static
is? The
part.
music in the background? Yeah, there's a little static
Yeah, maybe so.
there's a little static in your voice, but not much. I couldn't hear her at all though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead. Continue with the read. Just cut back.
Huh?
Continue with the
Okay.
reading until you cut back.
I left off at Acts 21:10. And as we tarried there many days, there came down from Judea a certain prophet named Agabus. 11. And when he was come unto us, he took Paul's girdle and bound his own hands and feet and said, Thus saith the Holy Ghost, so shall the Jews at Jerusalem bind the man that owneth this girdle, and shall deliver him into the hands of the Gentiles. 12. And when we heard these things, both we and they of that place besought him not to go up to Jerusalem. 13. Then Paul answered, What mean ye to weep and to break mine heart? For I am ready not to be bound only, but also to die at Jerusalem for the name of the Lord Jesus. 14. And when he would not be persuaded, we cease saying, and with, hold on a second, 14. And when he would not be persuaded, we cease saying, the will of the Lord be done. 15. And after those days, we took up our carriages and went up to Jerusalem. 16. There went with us also certain of the disciples of Caesarea, and brought with them one Mnason of Cyprus, an old disciple with whom we should lodge. 17. And when we were come to Jerusalem, the brethren received us gladly. 18. And the day following, Paul went in with us unto James, and all the elders were present. 19. And when he had saluted them, he declared, particularly with things of God, had brought among the Gentiles by his ministry. 20. And when they heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto him, Thou seest, brethren, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe, and they are all zealous of the law. 21. And they are informed of thee that thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses, saying that they ought not to circumcise their children, neither to walk after the customs. 22. What is it therefore? The multitude must needs come together, for they will hear that thou art come. 23. Do therefore this that we say to thee. We have 4 men which have a vow of them. 24. Them take and purify thyself with them, and be at charges with them, that they may shave their heads, and all may know that thou things whereof they were informed concerning thee are nothing, but that thou thyself also walkest orderly and keepeth the law. 25. As touching the Gentiles which believe, we have written and concluded that they observe no such thing, save only that they keep themselves from things offered to idols, and from blood, and from strangled, and from fornication. 26. Then Paul took the men, and the next day, purifying them, with them entering into the temple to sanctify the accomplishments of the days of purification, until that an offering should be offered for every one of them. 27. And when the 7 days were almost ended, the Jews which were in Asia, when they saw him in the temple, stirring up all the people, and laid hands on him. 28. Crying out, Men of Israel, help. This is the man that teaches all men everywhere against the people and the law and this place, and further brought Greeks also into the temple, and has polluted this holy place. 29. Where they had seen before with him in the city Trophimus and Ephesian, whom they supposed that Paul had brought into the temple. 30. And all the city was moved, and the people ran together, and they took up Paul and drew him out of the temple, and forthwith the doors were shut. 31. And as they went about to kill him, tidings came upon the chief captain of the band that all Jerusalem was in an uproar. 32. And the soldiers and Syrians and ran down unto them, and when they saw the chief captain and the soldiers, they left beating of Paul. 33. Then the chief captain came near and took him and commanded him to be bound with 2 chains, and demanded who he was and what he had done. 34. And some cried one thing, some another among the multitude, and when he could not know the certainty of the tumult, he commanded him to be carried into the castle. 35. And when he came upon the stairs, so it was that he was born of the soldiers for violence of the people. 36. For the multitude of the people followed after, crying, away with him. And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto thee? Who said, Canst thou speak freely? 38. Art not thou that Ephesian, which before these days maddest and uproar, and leddest out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murdered? 39. But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Sicily, a citizen of no main city, and I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people. 40. When he had given him the license, Paul stood on the stairs and beckoned with the hand unto the people, and when there was made a great silence, he spake unto them in the Hebrew language, saying, you may be going to 22, chapter 22.
Oh no, we're gonna hold it right there. Okay, so we're gonna hold it right there. We're gonna kind of sort of talk about some of the things that we took away from this particular uh, book. Um, so yeah, it's, I guess this is getting to where in that area where um, Paul is saying, of course, where he's from. He went, where and he is a Jew. He's making that claim. He's saying, "Hey, I'm a Jew. He's a Jew from in the region of Sicily." That's what the account said, right?
Well, what he was saying is, okay, they thought that he was some Ephesian dude or some guy from some other country that had taken some people out and murdered them.
Ephesian.
Okay, and he wasn't that guy. But what he was saying, he says, Paul said, "I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, a citizen of no mean city, and I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people." That's 21:39. But now, what they were saying to him, okay, this is 38, 21:38. It says, "Art not thou that Egyptian which before these days maddest an uproar and leddest out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murdered?" So they were trying to say that
right, exactly. So yeah, right. That's the part in which I wanted to focus on, because he says where he's from, and then they say, "What are he the Egyptian?" See, so here saying that he, of course, looks like an Egyptian. This is what the account said, right? And so that
basically they just thought he was. They thought he was an Egyptian. That's what they thought he was the Egyptian guy. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Right. So he's taking on. He obviously had a appearance of an Egyptian, right?
Well, by what they're saying, they thought he was the Egyptian guy. That's what it said.
Right. So, right. Yes. So he thought he was an Egyptian, right? So obviously he had the appearance of an Egyptian. It has some semblance of an appearance of an Egyptian. That's what that said, right? So they thought he was an Egyptian. Yes.
They mistaken him for somebody else. That's what he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah, right. They made reference as
somebody else.
As an Egyptian, though.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. An Egyptian.
They mistaken him for an Egyptian.
Okay. They didn't say anything like he looked like he was an Italian. He looked like he was an Irishman or he said, or American or Englishman. He said he looked like an Egyptian. Yes. I'm just saying, we're just putting this in context, okay? That's what this show is about. Us putting things into its proper perspective, according to what the word is saying, according to what the book is saying. Right? So that's the part, and we're reading out of 21, and I believe, what verse is that again? 21.
Acts 21.
Verse
38 and 39.
Okay, 38 and 39. Okay, so we're actually Acts 21, 38, and 39. It speaks about Paul being assumed to be the Egyptian. Okay, I'm listening.
Exactly. They assumed that he was and they were presuming that he was somebody that had led some people, 4,000 people, out into the wilderness and killed them, murdered them. And he wasn't that person.
Right. Yeah, he wasn't that person. Right, exactly. Right.
Right.
And
he
so
was
they
going to teach his
identify him
people.
as right. Go ahead. You want to speak to the people?
He
Go
was going
ahead.
to the people to clear that up. He wanted to speak to the people to let the people there know that's in 40. He says in 21:40, he says, and when he had given him license, Paul stood on the stairs and beckoned with the hand unto the people. And when there was made a great silence, he spake unto them in the Hebrew language, and in saying. So he spoke to them in Hebrew. Right.
Correct. Exactly. He spoke to them in Hebrew. Yeah, right. See, so
Mm-hmm.
obviously, he was looking and sounding like a Hebrew.
In Egyptian.
Yeah, right. That he looked like an Egyptian, but he was identified as he did not. They mistook him for an Egyptian, but obviously he looked like an Egyptian, and he of course could speak the Hebrew language, and that's what we want to make sure that we have clarity on, because there's of course where Paul or Saul is identified as being from uh, the region of, I believe, Turkey, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Turkey. Um, anyway, where Antioch, in that area, in the region of where Antioch is, the Christian church, the first assembly of the church, Christianity in Antioch. I believe that's in Turkey. I had to check. I had to check that. But when we try to make sure, that Saul is a man of some color. If they thought he was an Egyptian, he had to be a person of color. So a lot of times we see these pictures of Paul, and he looks like he could have been. Of course, a lot of them do. Like they could have been something other than a person of color. So that's just something that we need to. We can not necessarily. It doesn't. It's God's people. Doesn't matter what color they are. The heart condition is the way God wants all of our heart condition to be. He, of course, they're a child. We're all a child of God. And that's what the most important thing that we need to focus on. But just basically saying that, that he was identified as an Egyptian meant that he was identified someone of color, as an Egyptian.
Okay.
We do know Egyptian. We know Egypt is in Africa. So, they was identifying him. They thought he was he looked at him and said he looked like an African. That
well, here it is. One of the important messages about that is that it had already been prophesied to him that if he goes there, that they were going to bind him and incarcerate him. They had told him that when the guy had and he was like, well, I don't mind them. I don't care about them binding me and incarcerating me. I'm willing to give up my life for the name of Jesus, for the name of God.
Right.
And here it is, just like the thing about Paul's ministry, which he's mentioned a lot in the New Testament. The thing about Paul's ministry is that how he really had been killing the followers of Jesus, to the point to where he was blinded on the road to Damascus. And so many books in the New Testament talk of his walk, and his devotion to Jesus, his devotion to God. And as he went through stuff, it's just like most people, if something like that was prophesied to them, say, look, if you go to that part of the world, they're going to bind you and incarcerate you. most individuals like, no, I'm not going to go there. We're gonna go the other direction because I'm not somebody that wants to get locked up. But here it is. He was willing to not only get locked up, but to die. And here it is, just like the guy told him that had his garment, he's getting locked up, just like the guy said. You know what I'm saying? They said they would get locked up, and he got locked up. Now, that just like some of the studies that I had heard and read about, is that after a while, that Paul actually did die incarcerated somewhere. Okay, but I mean that's what rumor has it. I don't know if there's any exact proof of that, but I think that it was talking about certain letters that he was sending to people, and one of the last letters that he sent to somebody, he was incarcerated, and after that, you know, they heard from him no more, so they were presuming that he probably had died incarcerated. Now, there's a lot of things that go on. Okay, there's a lot of things that go on in religion. There's a lot of things that go on in the spiritual world. Okay, and just like me, I'm somebody that I believe that part of my walk in life has been in the direction of spiritual stuff and you know, spiritual encounters. Me where I'm at now is, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good. The only thing I don't have feet. But as far as I don't have feet, but if I had feet, I'd feel probably super great. But, you know, I think that there's a change that's coming on in the world right now. I think that there's a change that's happening. And I think that change is happening in real time. And I think that there's going to be a multitude of changes that's going to happen. And I think some of them are going to be noticeable. Now, here it is. I was looking on AI because I'm somebody that I researched some of the stuff. And I asked AI the other day, I said, in 1963, how many, as far as the percentage of Americans, how many Americans suffer from mental illness? And the AI said there's not an exact account, but by all indications, there was 3% in 1963. 3% of the American population suffer from mental illness. Okay, and then I asked AI, well, 2026, what is the percentage of the American population that suffers from a mental illness? And they said that with adults is between 26% and 27%, and with minors, that's like between 14 and 17, it's 31%. So you take all this into account, and you have to figure that the increase of America with a mental illness, okay, has increased from 3% in 1963. That 1963, I was about 6 years old, 1963, and now to 2026, it's way up there to dang near 30%. Okay, if it keeps going like it's going, if there's not some type of change like patriarchal, or if there's not some type of change, then this here whole thing is probably going to be stagnated by the amount of mental incompetence that's into our society in the United States of America. Something, in my opinion, that it has to be something done about that. Not only a spiritual intervention, because I believe that it will take that, but I think that it'll take an intervention with the people, because if we keep going into the direction of more population suffering from mental illness, it's going to be to where we can't communicate, because the people that will be communicating will be mentally competent to receive the communication properly. So I just wanted to interject that, because I think that's an important finding, and I think that is something that the American people should really, really think about. Because, I mean, if you figure right now it's probably 30% with a mental illness, that means 30% of our population are doing things without a common sense awareness of really what they're doing. And a lot of people, okay, that's like 30% is a lot of people that's going around not doing things with a common sense of what's going on, okay? And if it like if I'm talking to somebody, but I'm like I'm talking to somebody, they don't even really know what I'm talking about. Just like right now, there's ones that hey, you guys look at this guy. His mother and father, his father was a director, and you know what I'm saying, and he killed his mother and father in L.A. And they're saying, well,
Rob Reiner's son.
Right.
Rob
Here
Reiner.
it is, Rob Reiner. Here it is. They're saying, well, they're trying to see if he's competent to stand trial. And you take the lady that shot up Rihanna's house, okay? She went over there with a semi-automatic weapon, shot up Rihanna's house. Same thing with her. They're checking to see if she had good competency, and they're trying to see if she's competent enough to stand trial. Now, here it is. Me, I'm very confident mentally. But here it is. They've said, well, hey, we think that Hajime Grave should be looked at as competency to stand trial, which I believe I'm very confident. But the things that they do and the amount of population that started to become mentally incompetent is really up there. How you doing, Nicole?
Okay.
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
You can't hear me?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you.
But
Perfect.
your movement is not at your movement is not your voice.
Don't worry about that. We can hear you. We can hear you, and we finished the chapter, and we're talking about mental health. This is what the topic that King Nushu Peanut brought up. We're talking about mental health, and we're gonna go into mental health. We're gonna also talk about sex marriage in a moment. But you can chime in anytime you get ready. Nicole.
Okay.
So, Nicole, what do you think about same-sex marriage? What do you think about same-sex marriages?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if I have an opinion on it anymore. You know, I really don't.
Well, let me.
You know, I know people who are same-sex who are married. No, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. That's all I say.
Huh?
Not against
Well. First, let me say this before you go any further, because the topic when you were talking about mental health, and all of a sudden, I mentioned that we were going to go ahead and we were eventually going to talk about same-sex marriage, because that's part of the topic today. But without jumping around, let's address the mental aspect, the mental health aspect first. You brought up, so you're talking about mental health, and you're saying that 30% of people walking around here have mental health issues, right? So based on that, okay. So based on AI said. So based on what AI said, that 30% of the people have, the population have 30%. What do you think about that? Do you think that's true? 30%. Yeah,
30% of the American
He said
population.
30%.
No, I think it's 100%.
Oh wow, that's up there, Nicole. Come on.
I'm not even joking.
Huh? Well,
I'm serious.
Okay, yeah, right.
Okay. Now this is what I'm saying.
Right.
It might be bad, you guys. It might be my connection.
No, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Everything is fine. You're doing great. No worries. You're doing fine. You're fantastic. That's basically,
You said 100%.
But I mean, 100%. I mean, just look at our lives and how we have to live. It doesn't matter where you're at, like how much money you have, how smart you are. It doesn't matter. We're all dealing with those challenges, because just this world, everything that's in the media, everything, you know, just in life, it's a lot to deal with. It's like heavy. So because next time.
Well, I mean that there's a lot of things in life that's very stressful. Okay, and there's a lot of things that cause us to have mental anguish. Now, do I think that the system is going in the right direction? Personally, I don't. See, I'm somebody that's a strong believer in what they call matriarchal, and that when women have a lot of control. Okay, I believe that men. I've been here since I don't know. My memory goes back to 1960s, but here it is. It's gotten worse and worse and worse under the order and the construction of man. Now, me, I'm thinking that it might get better if women had control because, I mean, just like you say, you believe maybe 100%. I believe that it's 100% of people that think about things that give them mental anguish and think about things that cause them mental stress. But as far as sanity, I believe that there is sanity, but just like the AI said, it's 30%. But in 1963, it was only 3%. So from 1963 to 2026, it's grown by leaps and bounds. So you figure in another 25 years, this country won't be able to have enough sense to really govern itself the way it's going. So me, I believe that. Do I believe I'm mentally competent? Yes. But has the system said in the past that I wasn't? Yes. They said that I wasn't mentally competent. Do I think I'm mentally competent? Okay. Just like I've been doing this Sunday show for probably a year now. And there's people that can research things that I talked about, things that I've read about. It seems like he's got a mental competence about himself of a normal person. But now, you have to understand that
a lot of people
there's things that go on. Huh? I didn't understand
I was
what you
saying
said.
that's it. A lot of us seem competent and we're not. But we seem that way. We think as competent, but we're not.
Well, I don't know. No, I believe that I'm mentally competent, but now you have ones that have had a different opinion. But I'll say this though, really. I mean, because I remember playing sports and different things like that. I'm putting that stuff out there, and hey, you know, that's what I think.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you a question because you mentioned. Okay, so what team did you play sports on?
I believe I was number 3 for the Seattle Seahawks in 1983, 1984.
Okay.
Now,
So you believe? Okay, hold on a second. Let me finish. You believe because you're saying this and you're saying this on the show that you believe that you played professional sports for the Seattle Seahawks and your number was number 3, right?
yes.
And okay, so this is what you're saying, and people will say they've never heard of that before, right? But at the same time, you'll say that you believe that you're mentally competent. Okay, that's fine. The point is that there are a lot of people who have mental challenges, and yes, a lot of people, and like Nicole said, there's a lot of because of the stress in the everyday living. It is getting to where everybody has some type of depression or some type of mental challenge that they're going through each and every single day based on how this society in which we live is set up. And I'm going to pivot now because, we were talking about, the show is also about, same-sex marriage. And that in and of itself has its own set of challenges also, and that's basically this Pope now saying, of course, that that they're endorsing same-sex marriage, which the Vatican, I guess, or the Catholic Church wasn't doing that. But now with this new Pope, this is what's going on. Now, we can talk about, we can talk about, what we believe, how we think, mine, of course, I've never even thought about having the same type of sex partner, not me. Okay, so that's see, but the point, but that doesn't mean that people, have not, for example, thought going down that road that they would be like monogamous, or not monogamous, but they were heterosexual, okay? And they, for that reason, I was talking to someone this week, and they said they're having a birthday come up, and I said, well, good, you and your husband have a good time. He said, no, she's going to kick it with her girlfriend. Is what she said. She said she's going to kick it with her girlfriend. Obviously, her husband and her are not going to be spending her birthday together. She's going to kick it with her girlfriend. I think she's going out of town with her girlfriend. That's what she said. And
so she got a
that had a lot to maybe, okay, possibility that she has more of a girlfriend than she do a husband, okay, and I'm not saying that that's the case, but I mean, it's obvious that her and her, she says she got a husband, but it doesn't say like they're that close. And to me, that's and I've seen this happen before. I've seen this happen where individual, had a problem, and of course his wife, he can't do anything with his wife, and that eventually you figure, well, the wife gonna probably unless, like, for example, this is me talking now. This is me. I'm not seeing people. So this is the way. Let's say, for example, I had physical challenges. Couldn't do nothing with it, right? And she's cool. She's in great shape. She can do, anything she wants to do. And I'm not the type of guy who's going to try and satisfy her unless I can actually have, sex act with her. She's gonna say, basically she gonna start thinking, I need some type of romance. I want some type of romance. And she probably go in that direction. Me, my thought is that the man should say, okay, respectfully do what you got to do. Respectfully, make sure that everything is cool at the house. If that's what you gonna do, whatever, And these people eventually come up with that type of mindset unless they decide to have same-sex relationship, that's pretty much how it works, because these men these days, I know a lot of people my age. I don't know about you, sir. I'm not saying you, because you're a little bit, you feel like you're younger than me, but most people I know my age, they really can't function too much. Their functionality as far as the act of having intercourse is very not really performance-wise. Not really in that really can't do it. Whatever they eat, whatever they've been, how they've been taking care of themselves, they're not able to perform. Okay, I'm just keeping it real. I'm not talking about people my age. I'm not talking about people, somebody younger, maybe like Nicole's age. Nicole, you are younger, right? So, but I don't know. My point is that these situations when you hear same sex, there got to be something going on with that, right? There got to be something going on with that, because I see a lot of people is like, all of a sudden, like, they really can't do a lot, and unless they decide to venture out, they're probably going. Especially when it comes to women. Women is more prevalent with women having the same sex than men. I'm gonna keep it real. That's just how it is. They'll do with the woman do with another woman quicker than the men do with another man. That's true, even though that's not talked about. But the truth.
You
Go
saying
ahead,
there's
man. Yeah.
more gay women than gay men?
I'm
Is that
saying
what
there
you're
was
saying?
more women that would be. I'm saying there was more women that would have relationship with women faster than men will have relationship with men. You see, women do it all the time. Women will get together with another woman faster than a man get with another man. That is how it is. You know, they will
I don't know
they will get with another
about
woman.
that.
Well,
Okay,
I
you know,
don't
we're
know
not talking
about
about you.
that.
We're talking about we're
let
talking.
me
Well,
No,
okay,
I'm
so
not talking about me either. Just looking out into the world.
yeah, well, okay.
let me just say
Well,
this.
here,
Wait a second. Let me chime in for a second. Okay.
Yeah.
Here it is.
well, go ahead. Don't talk about don't talk about. No, long as you're not talking about you playing for Seahawks. Go ahead. Say whatever you want to say.
No. I'm talking about the subject you're talking about right now. Okay.
Okay, fine. Go
Now,
ahead.
now, my thing is this, right? Since my youth, okay, I was taught by females that a female what was supposed that is what arouses me. Okay, I have no interest for men at all. I don't know how another man could be attracted to another man actually because I don't know how they could do it. To me, it looks gross. Now, a woman being attracted to a woman is something that I could probably look and say, well, they're both attractive, so I could understand you to one another. Now, with me, I have it to where the woman gets me aroused. It's like it's her job to get out, and then it works out. See what I'm saying? And it works for me. That's something that's worked for me. Now, me, I have no desire for men. I don't see how men could desire a man, but that's on them. But now, the woman, I think women are attractive, and them being attractive and attracted to one another or something. I'm attracted to women, and probably I have a bias on that because of my own personal attraction towards women. That's just the way I am. Now, I'm somebody that, as far as attractiveness goes, I'm attracted to women, and I think women are attractive. And if another woman finds a woman attractive, I can say yes, I can understand that because I'm women attractive. I don't find men attractive at all. If they're made up like a woman hard enough and bad, then I might look at them. But I mean, no, I don't think they're attractive at all. That's just me.
But there are some attractive men. We know that there are attractive men. So if you see two attractive men together, how do you feel about that?
I'm an attractive guy.
Okay, so
I think I'm an attractive guy personally. I think I'm an attractive guy, so hey, I can understand.
You just use it as a perspective. Like if
Huh?
you're saying two attractive women being together, can you understand two attractive men together?
I mean, well, not if they look like men. Not if they look like men. I mean, see, I think women have been conditioned to look at men and think they're attractive. That's how come they call men handsome. Okay, it's like, oh, he's handsome because as far as being really attractive or pretty, he ain't that. You know what I'm saying? He's not that. So they started calling him handsome. So, I don't know. My theory about things is kind of, it's my own personal theory. I'm just saying this own personal theory, and hey, it's worked for me. Yeah. That's but I mean, if it's something that somebody likes, cool, whatever, man. But just like I look at things like as far as Jesus, okay? So if Jesus was to come back today, and the man is like, wow, I want to marry him. I think that Jesus would be like, you're totally out of line and totally out of place. Now, if a woman came and said, oh, Jesus, I think Jesus is attractive, I want to marry him. Jesus might look at her and say, yeah, well, it's a possibility that could happen. But what a man thinks, Jesus will say, get out of here. You're somebody that's blaspheming. I think you're somebody that needs to be cast into the deepest part of hell. And I think that you need to probably go to nothing. That's what I think Jesus would say. Because I have no indication, I've never read that Jesus was bisexual or gay. And I don't think that Jesus is. So I don't think he would be really fond of a man.
Women either,
huh?
Jesus didn't have women. Jesus didn't have a woman
Well, I mean,
either. So Jesus
but I
could
mean, just like it's rumored that like Mary Magdalene, it's rumored like Mary Magdalene and some of those ones, you know what I'm saying, and who's that, Lazarus sisters and stuff like that. But now, you know, Jesus in all indication about what I've interpreted is somebody that's a straight male. God, by all my interpretations, is a straight male. He's not attracted to men. No, saying that he more leans toward attracting women. Just like the two sisters, you know what I'm saying? Where one was putting perfume in his hair, you know what I'm saying? One was putting perfume in his hair, and the other one is like, hey, look at my sister. Don't you think she should be in here helping me cook and make a meal? And he says, no, she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. And she was oiling his hair and all that kind of stuff, okay? Putting perfume and stuff, incense in his hair. But, I mean, I've heard talk of Jesus being more in line with a woman. As far as men, it talks of disciples and stuff like that, him washing his disciples' feet because he was. But as far as sexual stuff, no. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that's a part of Jesus at all.
Okay,
We only
so
have like 4
that's
minutes left.
you're right. Yeah, so I'm gonna go press out real quick. Let me for another opportunity to come to your forum, talk about the word and help us glean an understanding of the changing world that we live in today. And you know, from our perspective, help us line up into what you want us to do to be your people. We humbly say these things and praise you and glorify you, the Most High God, who is Exodus 63, Almighty God, those who call you Allah, Jehovah, Elohim. And we want to thank you for all your prophets and saints and your son, who I call, came back as Jesus. And we want to praise the name of Jesus. Amen. All right. So go ahead, sir. You know, we can go ahead and finish. You know, if you have anything to say, we have 3 minutes. So go ahead. And you have me up to the call. What did you say, Nicole? I didn't hear you.
I said, oh, you had to pray over that? Is that what that was? You had to pray over that?
No. I just prayed. I did what I just go ahead. I will give a closing prayer. And, you know, of course, everyone has their own opinion, and we encourage that. We encourage that people give their opinion from their perspective, understanding that, you know, we all agree to disagree respectfully. And so, for example, I think that women would get together faster than men would get together, although, you know, you disagree with that, which is fine. And so, and then of course, Mr. Meatgrave has his thought process as well in terms of he thinks that women should be the ones to lead moving forward. So yeah, we're here just to give our perspective, and we invite those who want to come on the show to give their perspective. Of course, it's going to be seen on YouTube. Also, give a shout out to your streaming platform, Nicole.
To my channel?
Nicole. Yeah, exactly. Your channel. Give a shout out to your channel.
So I'll give a shout out on YouTube and sometimes on Facebook. You can find me at Nicole Bolton on Facebook or at Them Parks on YouTube.
Okay, very good. All right, so with that being said, we just want to thank you for joining in. You can watch this platform on YouTube, Facebook, at www.my.name. And so that's it. That's what we have for today's show. Next week, and listen, we can pick up the topic where we left off next week. Of course, don't forget to watch the Daily Show, which is we really did shows this week when it comes to the independent media reports. But next this week moving forward, you will see it. All right, thanks again everyone for joining the show, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace and love.
Peace and love. Take care.